So, guess who spent 45 minutes late into the night recording a video, only to realize when they checked the video back to make sure there's no errors with their microphone, that the microphone on their headset had fully broken. Hi. I noticed in some of my few videos I've posted recently that there's a lot of statically noises and I was cutting out. Yeah, that really tanked some of my trails from Zero videos, so I apologize. I have the saves for them still, I think, so I could go back and redo it, but I really don't want to, so I've grabbed a new headset. I had one spare one left, so I'm going to keep this headset as a only use when recording headset until my previous one breaks. So hopefully this one should last a really long time. Uh, in the 45 minutes I spent talking in the previous video, I went over changes I wanted to make, and then changes I did make in the White Forest list that I made for Genesys. It's a little smaller than it was in the end of the last video. I actually took out the copy of Fleur de Lis the Knighted that I was playing because very frequently it wasn't worth it. I would never have the board space, and if I was, that probably meant I was losing. I would rather just have 3 Thunderbolt, 1 Ecclesia, and the Ecclesia is here because I can search it to give me a body, which gives me the Thunderbolt, which, frankly, I don't even need the Ecclesia. I could save 3 points and just sack the Ecclesia, and then play, like a 3rd Ghost Ogre, because the Ecclesia is in here because, Reclea can get me it, and then Toy Soldier specifically, situationally, can get me it as well. And usually when Toy Soldier's getting it for me, then that means Reclea could also get it for me, so you could take Ecclesia out and throw in a 3rd copy of Ghost Ogre if you really want to, and just play the Knighted. I also added in the 3rd copy of Sylvie back. I realized that, if they banish these things, then you're kind of screwed, so just having more of them in the deck feels better because you have more access to them. I cut down 1 copy of Philia Diabel for that. In the extra, took out Giant Hand, and I took out Garura, because one of them was in here as a generic 4 I could make for I got 2 4s on board, let me do something with them. And the other one was in here as a send for Dogmatika Punishment or Ultimate Slayer. That dream has died. I've noticed that if I ever have the ability to use Ultimate Slayer for something that weak, there's probably something really big I should be using it on instead. And if I don't play this card, or just any other extra deck guy with 5,000 attack, there's a lot of cards that I just straight up can't use Punishment on, and that really sucks because it almost loses me the game. Notable cards I'm thinking about changing. This copy of Baromet, I'm playing it because you can target normal traps in grave, place them on the bottom, and draw a card, which is just nice. The second effect I don't care for. I just like it for the first effect because it lets you cycle back punishments or woes. However, the issue I'm running into is 9 times out of 10, I'm using Curse the first time to get Vengeance, and then my opponent gets rid of Vengeance, and then if I make it to the next turn, I'm banishing the punishment or the woes to summon back the Vengeance. Which means there's no point in playing this card, because I'm just banishing everything. So, you can replace this with any other card of your choosing that you like running. My recommendations would probably be either a 2nd copy of Snake Eyes Vengeance Dragon, so you're not so, holding it close to your chest with the 1st copy, or a 2nd copy of Reclea or Silvera, your choice, whichever you feel is more important to you. Other than that, I think this is the best that the list can be at the moment, at least to my abilities. I know I'm certainly no amazing person. Given the just rampantness of what's it called? Radiant Typhoon, you may see fit to splash Diabel's the original Sin Keeper into your deck. Let it be noted, however, that she is a light illusion, and This, unfortunately, only adds spellcasters, so you can't search that off. Also, this thing can only summon itself if you have a Simple Spoils card in your grave, since there is no way in heaven, hell, or anything in between your opponent will have one. I think the only way you could turn this on is by sending Vengeance to grave off of Diabelle's the White Witch. So you could theoretically run a package of, if you're willing to put the frickin' points in, you can run a copy of Simple Spoils Subdual along with LZ again. You just take out this copy of Witch. Take out the copy of Witch, and then throw in LZ, Subdual, and Diabelle's, which lets you add the LZ combos back into the deck, and it gives you 11 points to work with, which use it for whatever hand traps you want, I guess. And then you would use it to get Subdual to summon a Diabelle's from your deck on your opponent's turn, which you won't be able to activate the effect on your opponent's turn. However, you will get to use the non-activating ones, like your opponent must set spell traps. So against Radiant Typhoon, they must chain all of their quick plays right then and there. Chain now or forever hold them in your hand. Which, obviously, there's some situations where that's not going to matter. But hey, it might box them out. So if you're willing to lose a copy of Witch of the White Forest, which after today, I'm just going to say, I don't think it's worth it to lose a copy of Witch, then by all means, if you're running into a lot of it at your locals, play LZ Azamina, 1 Subdual, 1 Diabelle's Simkeeper. Because, man, these point values are so dumb. I yapped for like 14 minutes at the start of the last video that I recorded and it failed. So I'm going to try and not do it again. This recording will be 3 games. 1 against Stun, who quit immediately, pretty much. I just want to show the board. 1 against Generator, who I was able to make a comeback after they broke my board. And 1 against a Psychic player who, had they been playing the deck correctly, with better cards in it, then I would have lost. But thankfully, their deck building betrayed them. I saved the Psychic player's list, because I do like it quite a lot. They had 3 copies of this in here originally. They had a side deck that I can only describe as Who Hurt You, Dim Fissure and Macrocosmos, in a deck that really loves their card going to the graveyard. Yeah, that's a real genius strat. And then just a bunch of other oh my gosh, you're insufferable. And then they also weren't playing 2 Jam Dragon Drive, and they weren't playing 3 Blaster MK2. By the way, that really did matter a lot. They were instead playing Photon Strike Bouncer, the rank 6, it's a monster negate that burns, and then the 10 Yi Synchro 8 with the OG one that's a banish when your opponent activates a monster effect that can double attack. I think their list is fine. Oh, that's right. They also weren't playing a single copy of Rising Scale. They were playing 3 copies of Psychic Blaster. They were playing no copies of this, 3 copies of this, and I think they had 1 other card in here, but I can't remember what it was that I cut down. Unless they were playing not 40 cards to begin with. Regardless, I threw in 3 Rising Scale, because Rising Scale is just better Foxy Tune, and Foxy Tune costs points. So honestly, you could kind of just take out Foxy Tune. I mean, Foxy Tune makes it so your combo doesn't need your normal summon. Ogre Dance at least makes it so you need your normal now. But hey, who the flip cares? Rising Scale is just better in my opinion. Especially if you can work your way into the other part of the combo, but I digress. Enough yapping. I'm getting to the replays. First replay, Stun player, just want to show the board. Pretty good opening hand, only for going first though. Toy box, it's Soldier Tank. Sylvie, get woes. Get woes to play around if they have droll, by the way. Tails for LZ. Since I know they don't have droll now because I would have used it. LZ, send the soldier, grab the big LZ, go soldier for the Ecclesia. See, here's how we play it, because you could search the Ecclesia off soldier here and save your light spellcaster search for Reclea, just to search a White Forest card instead. So that's pretty helpful. But otherwise, I would probably be searching Rushia here, which is also a fine pick, honestly. By the way, in these replays, I still had Knighted in the deck. Don't play Fleur-de-Lis the Knighted, just play Thunderbolt. I search the face-up spell negate since I have a search for a White Forest card. Make Reversible, shuffle back Reclea, make Queen Diabelle, send the woes for the big Diabelles. Woes set itself, send Curse. Curse, add Philia. Then I go Philia, get Vengeance. Vengeance, banish, buff the Diabelles, go Ecclesia, and I got the Fleur-de-Lis the Knighted because I already had Thunderbolt. Honestly, if you're in that situation, just get a second Thunderbolt. They go Mallet, I'm like, okay. They go set one, they go Morganite, I'm like, I'll negate it and bring this back. They go it again, I'm like, crap. And then they quit, I'm like, fine by me, didn't want to do that anyways. Next up, Generator. Once again, we're going first. Pretty good hand. Go this, send the Curse. Curse, CL1, this, CL2, so I can bin the Philia and block the Cursed Search of Philia. Go Sylvie, get the Field Spell. Field Spell, get LZ. LZ, send Woes. Search Rusha. Woes, set itself. Summon Reclea, send the tank to search Ecclesia, tank summon itself, Rusha effect, Rusha cycle, got tails, go Reversible, shuffle back, and then by the way, here's where it's kind of like a, kind of messed up, because here's where like you would have to change things if you aren't playing the hand anymore. Instead of making hand here, you would make Tornado Dragon, which is fine. Alternatively, you don't have, like, because of how this card works, you could keep it here and you could search with this for a Stellar, then use this to summon the Stellar from your hand, then make a 6 again and maybe do something with that, but not really. It's just be better to make a Tornado Dragon here. Go Philia, grab Vengeance. Banish Curse and Philia, buff Ecclesia, grab the Thunderbolt, pass. So we got the Woes, we got a Monster Negate, we got the Thunderbolt in hand for if they destroy something, we got Reversible, Seal, and Negate, we got a Pop that also summons a Tuner from extra deck. They go Kaiju, and I'm like, crap. They go Radiant Typhoon Vision, I'm like, oh, cool. It was like my 4th Radiant Typhoon game in a row, by the way. So they go Vision, draw 2, pitch another Vision, and then they go Ponix, and I'm like, cool. So they've drawn 2 cards already, by the way. Then they go Kujikiri Curse, I'm like, cool. Pitch QQ and Eagon, I love this life. Draw 2 more, that's 4 cards they've drawn this turn. Go Lofter for Mardell. Thankfully, I have the hand to negate it, but if I didn't have the hand in this situation, I'd just go Fabled Reversible, because guess what? It doesn't target! So I decide I'll Fabled Reversible, take the Ponix, because they'll get to trigger it on res anyway, so I don't want to let them do that. Plus, if I let the Fabled Reversible stay, and I try and do it on Resolution, they know I have the negate still, so they can, instead of summoning Hela and Vala like they do now, they can summon Vala and Har, and then go CL1 Vala, CL2 Ponix. I try and negate, they go CL3 Har, tribute like itself in the Mardell. And then, or honestly, they can go Har, tribute itself in the Vala. And then that gets negated. Their Ponix resolves, which shuffles stuff away. Uh, and then their Vala just resummons the Har, and then they can go Vala, pitch something in hand if they have a generator card to summon itself, overlay with Mardell, make Leviathan go battle phase, kill one of my guys by battle effect, make Yorman, and then attach 2 cards to it, probably attaching the like Kaiju, I get, or attaching the Clesia and the Diabels maybe, and then going effective Jormungand in battle step to draw a card maybe. I don't know, just something they could have done, but they didn't. Instead they get Hela and Vala. Go Vala for Lopter. They go Leviathan, and Leviathan attack Link 2 Hela to get back the Mardell. I attach my Ecclesia and my Diabels. It's very funny. I think they took the Ecclesia not because they couldn't out it, but because they thought that I had the Fleur-de-Lis that would negate a monster. But no, I got the good one. They make the Canine Werewolf just because he's a multi-attacker, that his effect still works even if you don't make him with canine stuff. So because of that, I decide I'm not going to use any of my card effects for the rest of this turn because I don't want him banishing stuff from my field and grave. So on my turn, I draw the Scourge. I'm like, okay, that'll come in handy later. I decide to just go Battle Phase and Crash. Then in Battle Phase, they activate the effect. Both draw. I give them Tails. Thank God that I gave them Tails because they drolled because they made me draw. And I'm like, cool. So I go, here's like, see, if I had the other Fleur-de-Lis, it would suck because I would have had to activate it on main phase, which they could just look at my hand and banish it. So here, now I can just do it main phase 2, and I still get punishment. Good. And then I have Woes, and I can go Woes for Sylvie, and then I can go Sylvie and her, because she's an 8, for Vengeance, put Jormungand into the back. Then I have a Trap Engrave, because I can banish the Woes and the Philia, summon out the Diabel, make her big, set the Scourge. So, and then I purposely don't get rid of this. I can't summon it and use it because they drolled me, but on the next turn I could use it to get Toy Box, which maybe could help me out subsequently soon. So now I have Punishment Destruction, I have this negate, if this goes battle phase, I get to pop their back row and their monster, and I have a generic pop as well. They go Tacky, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not letting you get Lofter. That last card's gotta be it, and it wasn't. Okay, time for the best game of these 3, and the most difficult one. I'm going to say what I said at the beginning of the last time I started recording this. You will see me pay 4K for a Vengeance that will do nothing. That is because I forgot the effect of a certain card that makes you not take battle damage for the rest of the turn, because I'm an idiot. Opening hand is fine. It would have been okay going second too, but not that much. Just because, you know, a lot of decks that you see nowadays are good enough where they can throw up a single negate, even if they get interrupted twice, so it's whatever. So we go LZ, send Scourge. Oh, by the way, Scourge is your only out to Dark Ruler no more. Go LZ, summon and search Sylvie, go Surge set itself, Sylvie, we were gonna go for Woes here, but they Veiler us, I'm like, okay, that's fine. Clea, send the Scourge, bye-bye, I guess I don't get you anymore. Go Field Spell for Diabel's the White Witch. White Witch, Field Spell. Then send the Curse. Curse, get LZ. Then go Philia Diabel, search Vengeance. Vengeance, banish the Curse and Philia. Buff these, pass. It's a pretty nice board. Dark Ruler No More says, your board means nothing now. I'm like, well, my hand trap's gotta do it. They go Ogre Dance for Xiamen. They go Psychic Blaster to summon these Xiamen. See, here's where if they had Rising Scale, just imagine, if they had Rising Scale, on their board would be a level 8 with like a, I think it's 2500 attack, honestly. Just keep in mind that if they had Rising Scale instead, they'd have an extra copy of the Ogre Dance in hand, and they'd have an 8-star on their field. Sharkusai for Carp. Carp for Wagon, Deer Note. Wagon for field. Activate field. Deer Note and Wagon for Jam Dragon Drive. Deer Note effect, I pro it, and then I also summon the Thunderbolt. They search Mind Procedure because they haven't normaled yet. They get to draw a card. I get to set punishment. Apologies. They search Teleport. They get to draw a card. I send Cyberdark End Dragon like an idiot because I was only playing 1 at the time, and now I don't have anything for anything bigger than 3,000. Go Teleport for a Psychic Girl. Psychic Girl, banish a card from hand, summon another Procedure. Then make the Silent Psychic Magician. Bring back the Psychic Procedure, upgrade it by 1. Banish, make the 9, use the 9 to get back the Jam Dragon Drive. See, here, he used the effect to bring back the Jam Dragon Drive that he had banished earlier. Which, by the way, I believe he banished it for, what's it called? Oh, he banished it for Psychic Blaster, I believe. Instead, he could have just banished Wagon, and he wouldn't have had to use this to cycle back. He could have used this thing to banish, which matters, because instead of needing to use this, he would just have Rising Scale still. Because then he could use the Rising Scale and that to go into this, which also, by the way, he could still do this play, and instead of having a banish, he could have traded it for, I don't know, a Monster Negate. Psychic End Punisher, banish this guy and my White Witch. Go Battle Phase. I had paid 4k like you saw, because I'm like, oh crap, I'll die otherwise. No, because I take no damage, so I just paid 4k for essentially nothing. Although it does come up soon. I draw Philia Diabel. I'm like, okay, we'll go LZ. By the way, if he had a Monster Negate, I was dead right there. Search Sylvie. I summon Sylvie, activate the effect. He shotguns the banish. I'm like, okay. Thank God that I play 2 copies of the field spell. Field spell for the next copy of the Witch. I just did that to bait them. I'm under punishment. Go that. Send the Philia Diabel, banish the Dogmatika punishment to get vengeance, pay half my life to destroy the stupid idiot. They go top deck Blaster, I'm like, I'm gonna kill myself. They go that to search the Miracle Fusion. I pop the field spell so they don't get to draw any more cards, and now I'm exactly 100 life points less than them, so I can affect the pep. So I go Poplar, summon, I put the cards into the back row, wait for the chain to resolve, and then I go Poplar on a new chain on Resolution to make the Legatia using the Fleur-de-Lis United because I'm no longer extra deck blocked. You could have also made, here's where you could use Snake Eyes Vengeance. Might have been better to use Snake Eyes Vengeance too, but I like Fleur-de-Lis here, or Legatia here, because it's also a little bit of protection for this LZ. But it drew me a card, and hey, look, it drew me Fleur-de-Lis the Thunderbolt, so that's my second Dogmatika punishment online, baby. They go that to banish the pep. I'm like, oh, crap. They summon it. I know this. I'm like, they're playing the second MK2. They're playing the second one. I'm like, crap. They summon back the pep. I'm like, crap. They go Miracle Fusion. I'm like, super crap. And they beat the White Witch. They beat the Vengeance. They tried to beat LZ, but they didn't read Legatia, so she's fine. I draw. Stupid freaking Ghost Ogre. This is a summon negate for inherent summons, so I force it by using this. Honestly, I didn't need to, though. Well, I kind of need to, because I wanted Silvera to trigger. So they banish my Silvera, I book their field, I destroyed their card, they summon it back. I go Battle Phase, beat over that because I have 1,000, they banish and summon it back. Then I beat that because it's a little bit bigger. Use punishment. I send the Fabled Reversible so I can get rid of it, so now all they have is Pep. Then I have a Trap Engrave, hey boom, Vengeance back, baby. And then I buff it, and then Vengeance, pop it again. Now they go top deck Blaster, I'm like, you gotta be kidding me, so I pop this Yaman. They use Blaster again to summon itself. Then use the Foxy Tune they had in hand, which, by the way, remember, if they had Rising Scale, they would have had an Ogre Dance in their hand this whole time. Then they go for Xiamen for Madame Spider. Then they go with Damn Spider and pass. Because guess what? They weren't playing the second MK2. They had nothing they could make right here on this board state. If they were, or sorry, they weren't playing the third one. If they were playing the third one, they go into the third one and I just kind of lose. Because if they go into the third one, all they have to do is go battle the Dogmatika, Fleur-de-Lis, the Thunderbolt, and I'm dead. Yep, it's as simple as that. If they had the third one, they didn't even need to use the effect. They just needed to go battle phase. If you enjoyed this video, thank you very much for watching. I was recording this on Halloween night, but now it's technically November 1st. I'll show off the deck list just one more time. Here's the White Forest list. If I could recommend any changes, it would be just the point changes to play around Radiant Typhoon players at your locals, which means one less copy field spell, put the Azumina Elizette, put the Sinful Spoil Subdual, and put the Diabelle's the original Sinner. And that is for like Radiant Typhoon matchups if you know there's a lot of them at your locals. Otherwise, the only other thing I can mention would be probably getting rid of Dogmatika, Khaleesi the Virtuous, and just playing a third Ghost Ogre. Or some other hand trap that's for 3 points. There's a couple of them. They aren't really the good ones, but you can play like a copy of Meowls. Oh, I guess you can also play Soravis, since he's targeting protection. Woo. Anyways. Oh yeah, and the sheep. You can get rid of him and put an extra deck card you would much prefer to make more often. Regardless, thank you. Have a great day. Happy Halloween. And remember to drink your water. Later.